Hello everybody and welcome back to another new vlog. I've heard something very interesting this week which I want to share with you. I think it may just be BS or it could be a genuine phenomenon. But earlier this week I heard one of our local weather forecasters talk about false autumn, and I want to talk a little bit more about that in this vlog. But in the meantime, if you do enjoy this vlog, please remember to give the video a thumbs up and to subscribe to my channel, because that all helps me going forward. In the meantime, I'm going to go and see if I can find my first composition and then talk to you all about false autumn. Take a look at this scene behind me. Hopefully this kind of illustrates this notion of false autumn in some way. We've got behind us quite a bit of heather, and you'll notice that quite a lot of it is still purple, but some of it has got a bit of a purpley grey colour, and some of it has even turned a little bit brown as well. But also those trees in the background, the foliage on them is still very green. Now we are in September, we're about a third of the way through September, and this time of year is traditionally what we consider here in the UK as being the start of autumn, so I would expect, with that in mind, that some of the colours would be changing anyway. But I'm going to show you another picture now which I took about 2 weeks ago towards the end of August, and again it's a picture of some heather with a silver birch tree standing behind it, and I was considering the heather in the foreground because part of the heather was still very purple and bright, and a very small area of that heather was turning brown already, and I kind of thought that that was the start of autumn, and that maybe that was starting to change the colours a little bit earlier than normal. So I hope you like this image here, and I hope you like the image that I'm going to show you from a couple of weeks ago as well, which potentially sums it up a little bit more. I'm going to move on now and see if I can find another shot. So I've come back to a place now called Queen's Coppice. It's somewhere I've been a few times before, and you'll have seen some of the vlogs if you've been watching regularly. But I kind of approached this from a slightly different angle to what I normally do. And as I came into this clearing behind me, I kind of started to think that maybe this does look a little bit autumnal right now. The colours aren't really changing that much. The foliage on the trees is still very green, but you would get that in these coniferous woodlands anyway. But as I look to the floor, just down here, that's a sign that it may be looking a little bit autumnal. Some of this wooded debris on the floor here would often be slightly darker colour, slightly more green as well during the summer. So at this moment it does look as though, with us heading into autumn, this is at least starting to change. The colours aren't really popping that much on the trees, but I have noticed one or two spots as I've walked here that there's a lot of golden brown leaves already fallen onto the ground, and there could be something in that, so I don't really know for sure. But I hope you like this composition. It's a bit of a dark and dreary one, and I'm going to move on and see if I can find something else now. The phrase false autumn seems to have come from the fact that we've had a very hot, very dry summer with very little rain, and it's meant that the trees and all the foliage and the plants haven't had enough water to properly photosynthesize. I mentioned this in my vlog a couple of weeks ago where I talked about the ferns and the heather, and how the colours had changed quite dramatically, and I said I thought then that it was something to do with the fact that there wasn't enough water during the summer. But I don't really know for sure whether I believe the notion of false autumn. I think it's just a case that we are heading into autumn now. We are right at the very beginning of what we consider the autumn season. And I think just occasionally we get these features of autumn just slightly earlier than normal. Last year, in contrast, I spent several weeks looking for some compositions and going out and looking for images where the colours had popped and you could see the colours of autumn quite dramatically in the images, and it seemed to take quite a long time for me to find some of those spots. But now, this year, it seems like it's happening slightly earlier. Not necessarily false autumn, because I think we are just coming into autumn anyway now. So, I don't really know. Let me know in the comments what you think. Just behind me I found what I think is going to be my final composition of the day. You guys know how much I enjoy silver birch trees, right? So I've stopped here to take a photo of this one because I saw it on the path. I was the other side of this path a little while ago, behind where this tree is, and I walked up behind it and saw it from a distance, and I've had to kind of track back and find it again. So I'm glad I found it. But what's taken me the most about this particular tree, look at the the ferns in front of the tree itself, all leading you up to that tree. There's quite a lot of golden brown and orange in those ferns at the front. There's still a few very green ones, but it's quite obvious that the colours are changing now anyway. So I was really taken by that, and I wanted to use that as an illustration of what I'm talking about with this notion of false autumn. So I hope you like this image. If you are at all interested in settings, that last photo was actually a focus stack shot at f16, but although it was at f16 I still felt it deserved a focus stack because I was quite close to my foreground and there was still quite a bit of depth between the foreground and the silver birch tree in the background, comparatively speaking. So I wanted to make sure that I'd got all of those colour changing ferns in the foreground in focus, as well as having the silver birch tree in focus in the background. I hope you've enjoyed this week's vlog and me talking all about false autumn and whether I think it's a real thing or not. If you have any comments at all to make about that, please put them in the comments box below. I'll try and answer all of your comments as well. And if you've enjoyed the vlog, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and also please remember to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again on another vlog very soon. Bye for now.